We just got off a Zoom call with a couple that said something that we hear all the time. We're not ready for a 55 plus community, but we are ready for a change.
Yeah, they said our generation is way too young to be hanging out with our parents' friends. So today we're talking about what it really means for those that want the lifestyle, but don't want the label.
And the first one is your mindset shift after 50. Downsizing doesn't mean slowing down. It means right-sizing your life.
Yeah, many people are still working, they're traveling, they're starting new ventures. I mean, this is an exciting time after our 50s. A lot of us, if we have kids, they're in college or getting away. At least that's the stage in life that we find ourselves in. And yes, does a 55 and over community sound right? I don't know. That's where the mindset things, and it's a tough one that we struggle with personally. Which leads us to point number 2, and that is the whole image problem wrapped around the 55 plus lifestyle. You know, for some, you know, they feel like, hey, I'm giving up or I'm going into a retirement home. That's what it sounds like, at least to them.
Yeah, even though with all these modern amenities and some of them, well, actually, probably all of them are more active than we are.
Oh, for sure.
So it's definitely a mindset shift, though.
But it definitely is something about going into an age-restricted area that is a kick to the boys. You know, I mean, it's a definitely ego kind of situation, at least at our age. You know, maybe 10 years will feel differently, but right now it's one of those things where are we too young for a 55 and over community?
Yeah, I do think though that especially for us, because we're in these 55 communities all the time and we get to see the activity and things like that, we're kind of, it's making us realize that, you know, it can be for younger people.
Oh, for sure. There is a ton of young, you know, between right around that 60-year-old mark, you know, maybe a little younger, you know, between, I'd say 57 and 65 is kind of the sweet spot, especially for new construction. But again, we're, like Patrice said, we're in it every day. So we see it. Whereas our clients, you guys are out there calling us, we're on Zooms, and et cetera. And it's just like, hey, you know what? I just mentally need to see something else. So,
although we just had a client that we moved in and he is a little over 55 and she's in her 40s. So, and they're super excited about this. So, yeah, I don't think it matters. I think it is your mind, definitely a mind thing.
Yeah, that was Chambers Creek, the one that you're talking about. And yeah, they, you know, it's Chambers Creek, Kissing Tree, Robeson is very much younger.
Yeah.
Part of the problem, I think, is that even though we are of age or getting almost there, we still, I think our generation in general seems to feel and look much younger than our predecessors.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the Golden Girls. They were almost our age, and they looked like they were in their 70s.
Yeah,
you know? So.
or Cocoon, right? I mean, it's like we are older than those guys. That's crazy to think about. But our generation is definitely staying a little more active, all sorts of things. You know, I don't know. Maybe they need to change it from 55 and over to 65 and over. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, do you guys struggle with this? Is it something that is just us and some of the clients that we have Zoomed with lately? Or is this like a trend?
Yeah.
We're trying to figure it out.
I don't know. I think I'm a little more ahead of that than you are mindset-wise, because I just think it looks like so much fun and so many friends. And I feel like I would stay more active than I do now.
Oh, Patrice is like a kid in a candy store at these places. You know, bocce ball and all sorts of things.
All the arts and crafts.
Yeah, she's all over it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I just look at the golf and say, okay, I could do that, but I could do that anywhere.
I know.
You know, I don't need to be in a 55 and over place. I just want the smaller house and not 2 stories.
Yeah, I think that's another problem though, especially if you're couples, is one might have the mindset and the other one may not. So you gotta work through that too. That's another thing.
So what are some scenarios? What are some things that we can do to help with that?
Well, I definitely think hanging out in these communities, and several different ones, because they all have different feelings to them.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely helps. Just seeing checking out the neighborhoods and the people that are in them and the different events that are going on, and just really seeing if you feel like you'd belong there.
I definitely think that it's important to check out several different communities to find your people. We always tell our clients, you're going to know it when you see it, right? But in today's new real estate world, you're seeing less and less 55 and over active adult communities popping up, but what you're seeing is a lot of that trend into the hybrids. And that has opened up the gates, unfortunately, or fortunate, however you want to look at it, but most of the hybrids are Del Webb. And there's nothing wrong with Del Webb. We love Del Webb. But you don't have a lot of options, right? So, we can only see the Prestige, the Mainstay, the Hallmark. We see these all, they're in everything, right? So, yeah, they may be decorated differently and it gives it a little different feel, but for the most part, they're all the same. Whereas nowadays with these big master plan communities, they have activity directors built into them just for all ages and all shapes and sizes. And so that's allowing us to kind of open up Pandora's box and look outside of the gates of the 55 and over.
That is
and
true.
Look at some of these other ones that maybe they aren't classified as 55 and over. So you may have some family in their 30s with little kids next door, but is that the worst thing in the world?
Right. Keeps you young for sure. And most of these builders in these huge communities offer single story plans. So you don't have to get some gigantic house. And you could have a smaller house and enjoy some of these great builders that are building.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about that, because one of the things, I'll be honest with you guys, that I struggle with personally when it comes to the 55 and over community and trying to pick our house, is that we are big Christmas people. And so I still picture us having our kids back, wherever they are in the United States, coming back home with our grandkids and that sort of thing, and just having a big, huge holiday season. That's awesome. And it's hard to imagine being able to do that with a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom home.
Well, yeah, then that's another good point. And you never know when your kids need to come back and live with you for a little bit while they get back on their feet or something. Any number of things can happen.
That is a huge one, Patrice. That is the boomerang things. You're seeing that all the time.
Yeah.
Kids are staying with their parents longer, so it's just delaying that thing. Or they test the waters and they come back, or whatever the case may be. These are rough times for everybody.
Yeah.
And you have those options, because if you were in a 55 and over community,
That's what I was gonna say.
and you had a daughter and she got a divorce or something like that, and all of a sudden she became a single mom and they needed to move in temporarily, there's limitations that can happen in
Nobody under
55.
19.
Yeah, no one under 19 can live with you permanently. So those are different things that are real world situations that we deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I like with the non 55 and over, because I do want a smaller footprint.
Yeah.
I don't want to be taking care of it. I don't want to be, air conditioning 4,500 square feet. I'd much rather have that 2,000 square foot, but I do want that four bedrooms.
Yeah. The other nice thing about a big, large community like that is things like, you're talking about Christmas, but even Halloween, you get the little kids that come and trick or treat and stuff. So you miss out on that, I guess, in a 55 plus community. And some people, that's fantastic. They don't want any part of that. And some people want it. So it just depends on, I guess, what you want out of your next phase in life, and then you go from there.
Yeah. Drop us a comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are. Are these things, again, that you struggle with? We're filming this, and Friday is going to be Halloween, right? Do you guys miss that? Do you miss the kids seeing all the activity and all them, in their costumes, etc., or all the Christmas lights and all that stuff? Do you guys will you guys miss that if you go to a 55 and over community? Not that they don't decorate.
I was
I'm just
going to
saying
say, they definitely decorate.
They definitely decorate. But you know what I'm saying? It's just the holidays for some reason is for the kids. You know,
yeah.
It's different if you're not in that. That leads me to this though. One thing that I do want to stress, because yes, we do specialize in 55 and over, and we're the only team that does so of all of Texas. Mm-hmm. But we specialize in all things real estate. So if you guys want to see other floor plans, other builders that could fit your lifestyle, that may have activity directors that will put together events, or they have events for age appropriate, Generation X and baby boomers only kind of deal, then we will be more than happy to share those communities with you, kind of tour those and kind of give you our insights on those. If so, drop a comment below. So Patrice, what are some other things? What about the social factor?
Well, I guess in 55 and over communities, obviously it's all people that are within your age group, give or take, and so it just depends. If that's who you want to hang out with, then that's fantastic. And then you've got your people right there. But if you want, I know we have quite a few clients that live in those master plan communities who love having the younger groups. I mean, I know somebody in their 60s who belongs to a bunco group, and most of the ladies in the bunco group are in their early 30s, but they all get along so well. So it just depends on, I guess, who you want to hang out with. Yeah.
I mean, really what it comes down to me is, I don't want, this is going to sound bad, but with the 55 and over, it's no, I've been there, done that. I'm just escaping from all the little kids running around, running through my yard and all that sort of thing. If you could tolerate that activity, seeing the school buses and stuff like that, if that's really what then I think these newer communities with activity directors, like I said, opens up a whole other tons of options for you, regardless if you're in Dallas, Houston, Austin, Fort Worth, San Antonio. There's tons of master plan communities, and some of them are better than others. That's why you definitely need to hit that subscribe button and let us know if you want us to show you. But there's some definite options, and I would encourage you to look at both if you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or if you're really committed, you've been doing your due diligence for years and years, and you're like, no, Andy, I want Sun City. I want, then we're more than happy to show you that. But it's definitely something, the trend is trending towards more of that hybrid, and then also having those amenities for our generation, but not classifying it as 55 and over, because that opens up a whole other can of worms.
There's also the option, if you wanted to slowly move into that. You can, because we have a 4,500 square foot house, and once the kids are gone, that's a big house for the two of us. So if we want to downsize, we could go into a master plan community, and then maybe 10 years down the road go into a 55 and over also.
Yeah.
So that's an option.
Yeah, because I'm not ready to give up my media room.
Yeah.
Right? So there's certain things that you just don't get with the 55 and over, and we've been in all of them. Unless you really start getting into that custom, like Partners in Building over at Chambers and stuff like that, then all bets are off. You can do whatever you want, but not sure, that's not my idea of downsizing.
Yeah.
When it does come to downsizing, what are some of the practical side of downsizing? Why should someone like our age group consider downsizing?
For one thing, the maintenance, which we're finding with our house as it's getting older, there's a lot of maintenance that goes on. And so you have
no one's got time for that, Patrice.
No, you have a lot less maintenance, especially if you buy a new build, then you've got warranties and everything, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, you're pretty much maintenance free for a while, a minute.
Yeah, you'll have lower taxes. Your utility costs go way down with these new windows.
I don't know that you're going to have lower taxes.
Well, it depends. I mean, you file your homestead, and then once you're 65, then you get that additional tax. So
But you would have that regardless.
that is true.
But I definitely get your point. But it's more about, a lot of these newer communities, and again, it doesn't matter if it's 55 age restricted or not. A lot of them do take care of your front yard, and so your utility bills are going to go down considerably. I mean, our house is 20 years old, and so it's got 20-year-old technology and energy efficiency, which is to say it doesn't have much.
Might as well not have any.
Exactly. So just from a monthly nut standpoint, going into a 2,000 to 2,500 square foot, 4-bedroom, smaller home for us would be a huge savings on a monthly basis, just when you take into consideration our utility bills. I mean, in August, our utility bills was $700, our electric bill. We don't even have a pool, So, and we go into some of these things and we're hearing $150, $200. It's like, oh my God.
That's a huge savings.
That's a golf membership.
Definitely.
So those are some of the practical reasons why you want to downsize. No one needs to be climbing upstairs. It gets harder and harder, even though we are more active and that sort of thing. But still, it's a pain. I like having that single floor living, and so that is kind of the reasons why, or at least practically, that you want to move. Plus, it's freeing to get rid of a lot of junk.
Yes.
Right? We talked a little bit about these communities and them filling kind of that gap. Are there any more things that we want to talk about when it comes to those communities?
Well, let's see. We know that they offer single-story options.
And lots of different floor plans.
Lots of different floor plans. So, they have, and a lot of times you could pick your lot.
Pick your lot. They have so many different floor plans, and you're talking to some of the best builders out there. Highland, Perry, there's just traditions. There's Drees. There's just a ton more opportunities to find that dream home, that house that really makes you say, okay, this is worth it.
Yeah.
Because there is one thing that we haven't talked about, and I'm jumping all over the place, so forgive me, but is the emotional side. The emotional side of saying goodbye, that's something I struggle with this house. I don't look sentimental, but I am. I like going into the pantry or the snack closet and seeing the kids' heights, when they grew up. And what are we going to do with that?
As they get taller than us.
Yeah. That sort of thing. Or you go into our media room, and it's just all those times over the last 20 years that, we played games in there and Wii Sports and bowling and all that. It's just all those family times that, you leave behind. So that's an emotional toll, which is hard to comprehend and hard to get over right now. But what we have heard and seen firsthand, just that freedom that gives, when you downsize and get rid of some of your stuff and those things, because you always have the memories.
All right, and why we bring these master plan communities up is because we've had a lot of clients lately that are just saying, I'm just not ready for that 55 and over, but I'm not ready to just stay in the house I'm in. That's huge. I really need to downsize. I really want to make my life easier. And so it's a transition that we're trying to figure out.
There's like a 10-year gap.
Yes.
It feels like when you are between that 50 and 55 era, you're like I said, your kids are starting to leave the nest, and there's that period where you're like, well, okay, what do I do? I feel way too young to be going and hanging out with, like we said earlier, with my parents' friends, right? So that is a little scary. But I want to downsize. I want to get into a smaller home. I want to start enjoying my life, having more of a lock and leave lifestyle where I don't have to worry about things. Because as your house gets older, like Patrice was saying before, there's a lot more maintenance, a lot more things that you have to do. Whereas these newer communities, they have a lot going for them. in that regards.
And I think you want to find your people too, which is, you know, like if you are like us and you like to play cards, we want to find our people that like to play cards, or maybe people that want to go and RV with us and things like that. You can still find those people at a 55 or at one of these master plan communities, because there's other people there that are your age.
I guess prior to kind of the new direction over the last 5 years or so with these big master plan communities, is 55 and over is where you kind of had to go to get all those clubs and activities and find your people, find your tribe, right? Yeah. But now you don't need that. They've taken that lifestyle director mentality and brought it into mainstream communities. And so you have kind of the best of both worlds in that, if your number one desire was not to get away from kids in the ruckus, right? Yeah. If that is your main point, and we've helped tons of you that are like that, then yeah, obviously 55 and over is the way to go. It's just finding that right one. But if not, then, you know, it's definitely worth taking a look at the other ones. One of the other things that I think is great about doing that, you're not downgrading, you're downsizing, right? And so you get a killer house. You could design it exactly how you want. You know, if you want that killer view on the golf course or on the lake, you know, those options are a lot more plentiful, and they seem to not come with the 55 and over price tag premium. I'm not saying that they're cheaper by any means, but because in most cases they're going to be more expensive because they're bigger homes. But they're not so big that they're unmanageable, and they have so many more options as far as floor plans and all that good stuff that you can really find that perfect home for you.
Yeah, and if you're somebody who travels a lot, or somebody who just enjoys being at home more, then maybe that is more of an option, because in those 55 and over communities, I mean, we've had people that say they're more busy now than they were when they were working.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
They're I mean, when we were at Sun City, he said, you know, I take the weekends off, and it's like,
he said that's what they do.
They take the weekends off, so they're busy all week, and then the weekends are their time off.
It's like, hey, I gotta relax.
Which is funny. So basically, what it comes down to is just what feels right for your part of life that you're in, you know, and whether that's a 55 and over, or whether that's a single story in a master plan community. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either.
No, there's definitely different things depending on where you are in your stage in life, and there's no right or wrong answer. So if you want that HOA kind of lock and leave kind of lifestyle, and you want to be that peer connection to where you are nothing but age appropriate neighbors, then 55 and over is a great choice for you. If you're like the couple that we just got off the Zoom with, and they're just feeling like, hey, I want to downsize, but I'm not ready to, you know, whatever that is.
I want activities and I want things to do,
Just know that the trend is trending towards that with active adult communities, and there's a ton out there in Texas that we can show you and would love to. So wherever stage in life you are, we are your go-to team. We are here to help you out and design your life by design. Again, drop us a comment and tell us exactly, what does your ideal community look like? That helps us out tremendously. But we're excited. If you guys want to see it, we're gonna be here to deliver it. We're getting ready to go to Houston this weekend. There's just so many things that we've got going. We're excited to help you out. We're excited to explore our generation's next step, phase, the next adventure. And we want to be your go-to real estate team for all things Texas real estate. And until the next time, I'm Andy.
And I'm Patrice.
Take care.
All right, if you've made it this far, you're definitely our kind of people. So let's make this easy. If you're planning a move to an active adult community anywhere in the U.S., we're the team to help. We've spent years building the only nationwide network that specializes in this space. So before you scroll to the next video, click the link in the description and let's figure out your life after the grind.